Hey, how's it going this morning, Kate?
Good morning. I'm going great. How are you, Michael-Jay?
Yeah, welcome back to another episode of MJ and Kate On. And today we are talking about National Hot Tea Month. Kate, where are you?
I am coming to you live from Port in Rockford. Look at all the wonderful tea. And I have my delicious spicy chocolate chai tea, and it is super delicious. Here's the little pot. It's a teapot, not a kettle. I learned that last week.
The difference between a teapot and a kettle.
That's right.
So you're kind of hanging out there. So thanks for those of you that are joining us or will be joining us later. This week we are talking about the National Hot Tea Month. So tea is a great beverage for you to have in the wintertime. And we thought we would bring a couple of special guests on today. So we have a good friend of mine from Orlando, Florida. His name is Craig Slezak, and he's going to be talking to us about a business that he created for online, just as a sort of tea web business, right? So, so that's Craig, and we're going to bring him on, and we'll have a little chat with him. Anything you want to say before we bring Craig on, Kate?
Just I'm looking forward to learning all about the Tiny World Tea Company and, pivoting during a global pandemic because not everyone was able to do that. So I'm excited about the conversation we're about to have.
All right. So, without further ado, let's bring Mr. Craig Slezak on the show with us. Good morning, Craig. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing
Welcome.
well. How are you? It's cold here in Florida. It's 52 degrees.
Yeah. So,
I
52
have to rub it
degrees
in.
in Florida. Kate.
I know when you said that it was cold there, I'm just like, yeah, I'll take some of that up here. We've got a couple of feet of snow on the ground right now. Maybe only
Right.
a foot. I'm a good
Yeah, the grass is
exaggerator,
always,
but
the snow is always whiter, right?
yes, yes.
So, welcome, Craig Slezak. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you and I kind of know each other?
Sure. It goes way back to 2000. I was just moved back to Orlando from North Carolina, and I was looking for people to connect with. And so at the church I was attending, joined a singles ministry, and more importantly, it was a servanthood class that was led by that guy right there, drinking his tea. And he pursued a friendship with me, and I was like, that's cool, but and I gave in. I gave in, and I'm so glad I did because we became best friends. And, stood in each other's weddings, and I actually knew his wife as a friend, and got to see them, marching towards the aisle, which was awesome.
They are pretty fabulous people, aren't they, Craig?
Yeah, Sherry is his better half, but he's still got a good half.
I still got a good half, yeah.
At
So,
least a third, anyway.
Craig, tell us a little bit about how you became passionate about tea.
Yeah. So around, I guess, 2006, maybe, I had a mutual friend of ours, Cindy. Shout out to Cindy, who knew that I liked tea, but didn't know that I never experienced loose leaf tea, and so she gifted me a pot with some loose tea, and that kind of turned me on to better tasting tea. And then we went on a trip that year to London and Wales, meeting up with Micahel-Jay and his lovely wife Sherry, and we had a 5-star tea experience at the Dorchester Hotel. Do you want to share that story, Micahel-Jay?
So, we there's a kind of a picture of it here in the background, and we had an opportunity to take a crazy cab ride across the London and go to the Dorchester, and which serves a fancy high tea. And so we walked in there and sitting in this very posh tea parlor, and the gentleman who was serving us tea asked us if we were staying in the hotel, and of course we weren't staying at the hotel. We were down the street at the Le Travelage, as we told him, so because it was what we could afford. But we did enjoy the tea. So hey, Craig, you got somebody here that wants to let you know that they're here watching this morning from the Magic Kingdom. Miss
Oh,
Jackie
who's that?
Watson.
Hey,
So
Jackie.
she's watching. She's watching from the Magic Kingdom. Yep, and
That's awesome.
also Monica is also watching this morning, and she is another friend from the Magic Kingdom. Hey,
I
Monica.
love these Magic Kingdom people. I'll be at that Magic Kingdom later today, so.
Yeah. So, so you had this passion for tea, and we went on this trip to London, which we were able to celebrate. Actually, a milestone birthday, I think it was. Wasn't it? Maybe
No, it
29?
was no, no,
No.
no. I'd already been. You're so fine. You're so kind. Um, no, we had, Cindy and I had gone for a wedding. A mutual friend who was getting married in Wales. He's Welsh, and then you and Sherry were on. It wasn't your honeymoon, right? It was just
No,
a
just
year
another trip. Yeah.
anniversary. Just another trip. Just a trip. They
another
were in
trip.
France, and then they came down to London for a few days. It was around my birthday, but it wasn't a milestone birthday.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. But we did go to Blue Man Group. I think that's what it was for your
Yes.
birthday. So how did you translate this passion and then becoming a business?
Sure. Well, at the Dorchester, the waiter turned me onto a Paris blend tea, and when I got home, had to have that, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So, eventually, did find it. It was Harney and Sons. Big shout out to Harney and Sons, which became my first love. And then from there, I would just share with my coworkers, friends, this passion for tea. I would try different blends. But then a few years ago, I went to a tea shop up in North Georgia and tried an Irish whiskey cream black tea, which I fell in love with. Came home and I said, you know what, I might try to blend a tea myself, and failed miserably. So I decided I started looking for tea suppliers, wholesale suppliers, and around that time, it was about 2019. My wife and I launched an online campaign for tea. So what we do is we hand select different teas that we like. That way, if no one buys it, we have more tea for ourselves. And uh, we try to select teas that have won awards in international tea competitions, teas that you can only get from a wholesaler, and we've expanded from there. Then the pandemic hit. And so as a pivot, I lost my job, and was looking for. I was a stay-at-home dad. I was the point parent of 3 kids. So my wife worked as her work increased, and so what I did was my wife and I reached out to some local companies, a local farm, and started selling wholesale through them. In their shops, which helped become a pretty good side hustle. Pretty good side hustle. I speak professionally. Can you tell?
As do we all, right?
Right.
So what were some of the places where you were selling the tea? You had the farmers market, and then
Yeah.
and then you took that to a more kind of online. How was it? How did that work
Well,
out?
we started online. We started online and just reached out to friends through our social media, which then expanded. One of the things with the job that I had, which was with the Walt Disney Company, they had opportunities for cast members who made things or sold their own stuff to. They offered us places to sell that. So I did a little bit more of that. But the companies that we sold to there's a few coffee shops, tea shops, restaurants, and then Southern Hill Farm. Big shout out to them. They're a huge blueberry farm, which has expanded to strawberries and everything else down near Disney. And They've just been a really great client of ours. We're so proud to be part of the Southern Hill Farm family.
So this is your website, the Tiny Tea Company, and so anybody can come to put up the website here, www.tinyworldtea.com, or if you're old school, it's http:// www.tinyteaworld.com. So that's one of Craig's jokes.
Forward
and so-
slash.
Oh, // yeah.
Yeah.
So one of Craig's jokes I had an opportunity to use there. So yeah, you can come to the website and pick out some tea and have it delivered to your home. That's right.
Yeah. And we've since I've actually returned to my work back in July of last year, and my wife is busier than ever. So we've kind of scaled back just a little bit with our online sales. So people have the opportunity to order up until the 20th, and then what we do is by the end of the month we ship out their tea, unless they want to pay a premium, and then we'll get it right out to them. So it's helped us in that we have busy lives with 3 kids and our full-time job, but it's also given us the opportunity to serve others, because people love our tea and we love sharing it with others.
So I have to make one correction here that from earlier. So when I put up Jackie to talk about them earlier, I didn't realize by the last name that I thought it was someone that you knew, but it was somebody that I knew who goes by Jack, so that's why I was a little confused. But anyways, it's a he, and so thanks, Jack. We appreciate you tuning in and watching. So Kate, what questions do you have for Craig?
So, Craig, I just think it's interesting that during a pandemic, you were able to make a way for your family. And I mean, you mentioned your faith, and that's how you kind of met Micahel-Jay, and that's also how I met Micahel-Jay. Do you think that God kind of had a hand in that, because he was able to take a passion of yours and make it into something so much more than just, hey, I'm drinking tea with my friends?
Absolutely. That's a really good question. Yeah, so I've always found tea was a great way to connect with others. I have a neighbor who's in construction, and we don't really have anything in common until we found out that we both love Earl Grey creme. So that was kind of like a launching point for us to get to know each other. And I've definitely seen, anytime somebody comes to my house, Micahel-Jay doesn't even need for me to ask. He will say, I'd like a chai latte, please. And I'll make it right away for him. Sherry usually slaps him and says, Micahel-Jay. But Micahel-Jay knows that I love doing that. So
even on your 50th birthday.
Right? All right, little side note. Micahel-Jay surprised. My wife goes, hey, I have a surprise for you for your birthday, which was last year, my 50th. And so when Micahel-Jay comes in the door, I go, is this a surprise? Because I was totally surprised. She goes, no, I'm surprised too. She got me an ice cream truck, because almost as much as I love tea, I love ice cream. But Micahel-Jay decided to fly down that day to celebrate with me, and then fly back home that evening. After I found out he didn't have a ride to the airport. He's hanging out. I'm like, so how are you getting to the airport? He goes,
I don't know. I need a ride, maybe.
But
for those of you that live in for those of you that live in Orlando, at least it was in Sanford, which, because you live in Altamont, but it wasn't like going all the way down to Orlando International.
Right.
So
I left my wife to clean up the party and have 3 kids, and that
sounds like a great birthday present to you.
It really was. My wife loves me so much. But yeah, to answer your question, Kate, I don't think I did. I definitely seen God's hand in this as a provision for us, taking something that we're passionate about and in it to help us in times that were tough.
I just think that's a testament to really just laying it all down, right? And just being able to say, okay, well, none of us had control, right? In March of 2020, we were just like, well, here we all go. And I guess it matters where you put your faith in March of 2020, how well you were able to get through those really lack of controlled kind of times, right?
Yeah, I don't know about you, but when we left in March of 2020, our work, we said, all right, see you guys in April. Because at that point, we thought, oh, it'll just be a few weeks. We'll
Yeah.
Yep.
lay low, and then we'll come back together. And April turned into May, June, July, and next thing you know, I'm furloughed and then separated from my company. So what I thought was 1 month was going to be 18 months. Um, but it was again a way to provide because I was able to stay home with my kids, and in a time that they needed. So that was great as well.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's such a huge blessing, right? Our kids not knowing what was up or down and being able to be there with them. I have teenagers, so it wasn't necessarily an exciting place to be for a couple months, but we figured it out.
So, and I think it's just it's amazing that you were able to not to necessarily return to exactly what you were doing, but pretty close. You know that you're able to come back 18 months later and um, back to the same place. So, tell us a little bit about what are some of the different blends that you have on your website.
Absolutely. So I am a black tea drinker. My wife is a green tea drinker, and of course they come from the same plant. Little schooling there. It's the Camellia sinensis. Then we have some herbal teas as well. One of my favorites during these cold and flu season has been our Broadway baby, which is it's kind of a throat tea. It's a throat soothing tea. So that's been one of my caffeine-free go-tos, especially as I do voice acting. But I am a black tea drinker. I'm drinking today my Irish whiskey cream. It's one that I found from a wholesaler that I really, really like, and it's become one of our most popular. So I love that. We did one called Blueberry Fields for Ava, and that was for our daughter with special needs. There's a campaign. It's called we call it Blue for Ava. It's to raise awareness for Angelman syndrome, and so we have a tea blend that is named after her in her honor. I mean, she's still living, so it sounds like I'm, in remembrance of my daughter. I remember her every day because she wakes me up at 4:30 sometimes, like today.
Ooh.
Yeah,
So,
caffeine, baby.
so Craig, Kate is at a local place that just opened this weekend, and it's not your grandma's tea shop. It's more like a tea bar, and it's
Nice.
part of an art gallery, and it's called Poured, and they have a lot of unique things that'll be going on over there, and so Kate, why don't we let everybody take a look at our interview that we had over there at Port, and then we'll talk about what you're seeing today. Okay?
Okay, real quick before we let you go, Craig,
Sure.
I need the name of that tea. My daughter's a musical theater girl, and throat coat is her go-to, but it doesn't really, work very well.
Yeah. So it's called Broadway Baby with an exclamation point.
Okay.
And it's got a lot of similar ingredients like the throat coat. The one that it doesn't have is a slippery elm, which for me personally, it doesn't do well in my system, in my body, after a couple
Mm-hmm.
cups. So I found that this is something I can sip all day and not have that issue. Throat coat is great, but and it doesn't have a strong licorice taste like the throat coat does. But it's something, yeah, it's something worth checking out.
Awesome. Thank you.
And
I
thank
will
you guys. This
definitely
has
be
been a lot of
looking at
fun.
that.
Yeah.
All right, hang on, Craig. We're gonna take a look at the a little bit about Poured.
Right now, we felt so disconnected from each other. People have had with what's going on in the world. Either it's so fast paced we don't have a minute to truly connect, or because of the pandemic, people have been cocooning away from other people. And this is a safe place to come sit and enjoy and connect with other people. We want you to come and take your time and meet your friends and share a pot of tea. We have one of our items is a shared pot, so you can get a larger pot going together. And the idea is tea takes time. It's not a quick grab and go. You have to give it time to steep, pour the water over the tea. So our idea is to pour into each other, slow down, take a minute, and enjoy the experience. You can rent the whole space. We are currently sitting in the gallery, which is our first floor. It's an art gallery with exhibitions that will change about every 6 weeks. Currently we have Buga is our first exhibition, and that's a Danish concept of cozy, comfortable contentment. And so all of our art is reflecting that concept, and it's all for sale. And we'll have a show from a Grand Rapids artist, and then we have continuous exhibitions planned through the year. And you could rent the gallery space. We also, up above on the second floor, have a studio and art creating space. And we will have classes there. You can rent party space for a kids party, or we've been approached to host a wedding reception. It's a fabulous place for showers, for babies or for bridal showers. And we can work with you individually to come up with something fun with tea or a kid's art party, something different that they haven't seen before. We have 27 kinds of tea. We have 2 blends of coffee, so you can see the focus. But our tea is Fraser Tea, which is based in Michigan, in Livonia, a family tea company. They source their tea from all over the world, and it's all organic, and they blend it in Michigan. They have master blenders in the family, and then they ship it here to us. Coffee is also local. It's through Shul Coffee. We have their Hoven brand, which is a young coffee-focused community. Their Sparrow blend for a decaf, and we'll do a lovely French press coffee for you as well if you'd like that. Partnered with Beer Distillery for an event we did, and they are in Comstock Park and make spirits and beer and have a restaurant, and they partnered with us and made some cocktails with our tea. We did a chocolate chai martini, they did a Earl Grey punch and a hot cinnamon hot toddy, so we're definitely having fun with the tea.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of fun. Kelly Tuitt has such a great eye. She's the owner, and she has such a great sense of style. And so she was able to source some really fun things. And one of the things, no offense to Grandma, but this is not Grandma's tea shop. This is what we're calling a tea bar. So it's kind of a wine bar feel, maybe you take on it, sort of a more modern. Tea is spreading like crazy in our country. It's the second most consumed beverage in the world after water, with everyone these days being so focused on where things came from and enjoying the craft of where our food and drink comes from. That's just exploded. So the idea of tea, and it's been around for, I think the first things at 750 BC, they were looking at tea in India. So it's been around a long time. There's a lot of lore and history, and there's a lot to learn. Fun teas here for our kids' tea. One of them we call our unicorn tea, and that's our fruity bubblegum tea. We'll be serving it, if the parents are all right with that, with rock candy stir stick. So that will be their sweetener. And then we also have a similar one that is a wizard tea. It's our berry blue herbal tea. That one has no caffeine, but we'll give you the sugar stick too. We can put a little edible glitter in there too if you want to get really wild. Tea flights as well. You can taste 4 different teas, and we will change the selection. Right now we're doing 4 teas that are kind of give you an overall view of the kinds of tea that we're having from Fraser. And then next month, we'd like to do a box of chocolate style tea, where we'd have a coconut and a chocolate truffle tea and a caramel and a chocolate milk. So we're going to have a lot of fun with changing it up. Days through Friday, 8 to 6, and Saturdays 8 to 5. 8 to 6, and Saturdays 8 to 5.
Hey, so Kate, you're there at Port today. Tell us a little bit about your experience so far.
Oh my goodness, you guys. So I have to tell you, I don't know if any of you noticed in the background, but you could see like there was this glass window, and when we were here last week, they said they were going to be putting shelves in. Well, the shelves are in, and if I was tech savvy enough, I would show you how beautiful the display is, but if I move anything, I will spill and drop everything. So
I didn't want to have anything else going on. So Port is a place that just opened up. Tell us a little bit about, because I can't think and program at the same time. Kate, tell us a little bit about what Port is for the local people.
So Port is an amazing shop right in downtown Rockford. I should say in town, right? Because that was lingo that my family created apparently. But they actually have some really good baked goods that are up there. And if I was hungry, I would have some. But it's a beautiful little shop that's cozy. And I don't know if you can see the display behind me, but like every piece of furniture, every piece of artwork, like it's just so thoughtful. And there's a point, there's a purpose to every little nook and cranny in Ford, and it's just a place to come out, gather with your friends, and actually relax and take a breath and have good conversation and get some work done if you want to. The upstairs has an art gallery where you can schedule to take some art classes and have some, I almost said wine. It's not a wine bar. It's a tea bar.
Tea bar.
Definitely
tea bar.
Definitely a tea bar. But it's such an amazing place, and I just love how Rockford is kind of getting more unique shops. I was just posting the other day, Rockford needs something more than just pizza and ice cream, because we've got like 3 ice cream shops, 4 pizza places. How many pizza places do we need in one little town?
I don't know.
4? 4 is a good number.
4 is a good number, baby.
So I'm excited. This is such a great place to be. And if you haven't come and check it out yet, you really need to get down here. And the new parking lot is right behind the building, so you don't have to deal with parallel parking if that's not your thing.
So you're on right down from the post office. On the name of the street is.
So you would think we would both know this, but it's the street in Rockford.
It's the street in Rockford and the post office. Cortland. There we go, Cortland. It's Bridge Street and Cortland. That's the 2 main streets, other than Main Street.
Yeah.
Down from the post office.
If you live in Rockford, you know.
You know. Just come on down past the dam and the dam dogs and the dam whatever.
Right. Navigate yourself to the dam, and you'll get here in no time.
And you'll get there. Well, we do want to thank our special guest that we had today, Mr. Craig Slezak, and I'm going to bring him back up here on the screen. Hey, Craig.
Hey. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being had today. So
Yes.
we really enjoy that we had some opportunities to talk about tea, National Hot Tea Month, and as we're almost to the end here. And so Kate and I, this is our 4th podcast under our belt. Woo!
And I think we actually did kind of okay today. So
So Craig, you were on one of the less technical glitchy shows.
Well, it is an honor, and you guys are doing great. And maybe for your 5th episode, you'll have a 5th ice cream shop open up.
Well, 5th ice cream shop. Yeah.
Yes,
so,
yes.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Craig, for joining us. And Kate, any parting shots?
We just look forward to seeing you next week. And Craig, thank you so much for sharing your morning with us this morning. If my daughter were here, she'd ask you what time zone you're in, even though you're not in the same time zone. I shouldn't have said that. She's 17 now. She probably does understand time zones.
I'm 50, and I had to ask Micahel-Jay that question, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So it's not like we've got you up too early this morning. So thank you for coming on our show.
And we're putting you on the spot next week. Kate, what are we talking about next week?
Oh, that is really on the spot, Micahel-Jay. I prepped. That's what I prepped for.
Yeah,
So let's see. It's in the
it's
captions, I bet.
National Burn Awareness
Right.
Week.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I have a whole week to prep for that, Micahel-Jay.
So it's National Burn Awareness Week, and Kate's going to talk a little bit about how burns and fire safety works into your home insurance, since Kate is a licensed insurance agent here in Michigan. So thanks for joining us, guys. This is our fourth show. We really enjoyed having you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Have a great week, everybody.